Welcome, 3SM Podcast, episode 201. Today, I'm so glad and grateful to be able to talk with the spiritual mama about holotropic breathwork. Welcome.
Hello, thank
So,
you.
tell me, what is holotropic breathwork?
Okay, so holotropic breath work is a breath work that you do. It's a holistic therapy. It's very healing, very relaxing, and very, very good for anyone that has any kind of mental health, depression, stress, anxiety, insomnia, all those sort of things. It's very, very, very good for that. Um, but yeah, so it's a breathing exercise that you do, and you only literally have to do it for 5 minutes.
Yeah, sounds amazing. And why should everyone use it and what's the benefits?
Well, what it is people have got out of the habit of not breathing properly, you see. So because people aren't breathing properly, they're not getting their body as much oxygen as they need, you see. And so breath work can extend your life, and it can actually, I wouldn't say stop you from getting, but it can, well, it hires the immune system for a start. So you're less likely to get diseases, certain diseases. It sort of keeps things away. So if you do it on a regular basis, like every day, yeah, it can be very, very good to keep things away. You won't get viruses, you won't get colds, because when you do breath work, you yeah,
I think I
sorry.
Yes, yeah, sorry for interrupting you. It's okay. I think I remember what you were about to say, that you alkaline your blood, and you
You
can maybe
alkaline your
explain a
blood.
little. Yeah, you can maybe a
Yeah.
little explain that more a little.
So when you do breath work, you alkaline the blood. When you do holotropic breath work, that because there's lots of different types of breath works. There's actually hundreds of different types of meditation, because breath work is also a form of meditation. It alkalines the blood. So when your blood is alkalined, it actually stops, any sort of like deterioration going on. It also keeps cancer away, which is a really good, is a main, thing, because as the cure for cancer, the cure, the treatment for cancer isn't that good. So people still, I'd say, like 40-50% of people can still die after having chemotherapy and radiation. So and it's very, people, patients get very ill once they've had the chemotherapy. So there's lots of other problems, that occur because of cancer treatment. But if you do breath work, it actually keeps cancer at bay. Yeah, it's very powerful for that.
Yeah, it really sounds powerful, and I'm kind of interested to try and maybe have like explanation or kind of like um, uh, a voice or a guide how, because holotropic breath work, many people can Google it and search it and look it up, but to get it explained from the spiritual mama would be really appreciated, to how to understand and grasp what you do with your breath.
So with the breath work, what you do is you breathe in through the nose, and there's reasons why you breathe in through the nose. It warms the air quicker. Also, there's particles in the air, and if you breathe through the nose can actually stop the particles from getting in, so it's a better filter. So that's why you breathe in through the nose, and also you've got to make sure you do what they call in yoga belly breathing. And belly breathing is belly breathing, basically it's explains itself. So when you breathe in through the nose, you've got to make sure you use your diaphragm, and the way that you do that is just place your hand on your lower belly. So when you breathe in, you can feel your lower belly push against your hand. And so if you do that, you know that you're using your diaphragm to breathe. So it's either called lower belly breathing or diaphragmic breath work. So that's the secret. You've got to breathe properly. So place your hand, one hand on your lower belly and the other hand on your upper chest. So when you breathe in, feel the breath come in, feel your hand, go out on the lower belly. And then you feel your chest rise as well. So with one hand, you're feeling your lower belly expand, and the other hand, you're feeling your upper chest rise as well. And if you can feel that, you know that you've done it properly. So when you breathe in, if you do that, and then what you do is breathe out of the mouth. And you do this continuously. You do it continuously. And then when you've got enough oxygen in the blood, you breathe in through the nose. On the inner breath, you hold your breath. So you hold your breath for about 10 seconds, and then you release. And when you release, you breathe again out of the mouth. So yeah. So what's happening when you hold your breath is the carbon dioxide builds up. The carbon dioxide is the waste product. And this builds up, you see, when you're holding your breath. So on the outer breath, what you're doing is you're getting rid of all the carbon dioxide, all the wastage. So this is specifically good. Well, it's good for many things, but one thing it would be really good for is if you were on a detox and used this method, it would help to enhance, the effects of the detox. So yeah.
Yeah, that sounds really awesome. And I'm thinking we all have three homes that we live in. We have the body, we have Mother Earth, and we have our mind, our brain, and our thoughts. So when we connect the holotropic breath work to the betterment of the health of the physical, psychical, and social, what do you think it's also good with the holotropic breath work for Mother Earth?
Well, basically, when you do breath work, you're raising your vibration because you're entering a mind wave. When you do most meditations, you enter the mind wave theta. So this is the mind wave that you need to be in order to do meditation. So in that respect, it's very, very good for you because it not only clears your system and does many other things on a medical and psychological basis, it also raises your vibration. So it's really good for your whole well-being. And the healthier we are as a human race, the better it is for the planet. because the planet is a living, breathing entity, and we're connected to the planet. So if we ourselves make ourselves healthier through breath work, it's actually better for Mother Earth because we're connected to her.
Yeah, thank you. That was a really good answer and beautifully said. I think that we have crossed into a lot of different aspects of this, but to talk about the holotropic breath work and to not try and have not necessarily a full workout session of it, but we have already touched upon a little bit of how do you do it. But I think I would like to touch upon to what I like to say is important things when it comes to the holotropic breath work, that you should stay barefoot, you should sit in a chair, you should have water next to yourself, and you should always remember to close your eyes.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, it's better, really. You can do breath work anywhere. You can do it when you're sitting in an office on a chair. You can do it when you're at home sitting on a chair. You can do it lying down, and you can do it outside. But I would say if you do it outside, it's the best thing, really, because it's natural. You're breathing in the oxygen from the trees. So if you go out and do breath work, you know, in the woods or in the forest, you might call it, it's really good because the oxygen, you're bringing in the fresh oxygen from the trees. So yeah, and it's better for your whole well-being, really, if you go out, you know, in nature and do it, you know. So it's better all round, really. But yeah, bringing in the oxygen from the trees is quite amazing because you're actually taking in more oxygen and putting it into your body. Yeah.
Yeah, wow. That sounds amazing. I have a really good question for you, Spiritual Mama, which will maybe uh, take some thinking, but I would love to hear you answer. What is the best advice anyone ever given you?
To do breath work every day, 5 minutes breath work. Because since I started doing my breath work, I've noticed changes within my, you know, digestive system, my sleep pattern, my energy levels. It just affects everything. And yeah, that's the best advice that I've been given. Definitely.
Mm, good answer. Well, I think that if I can also say, if you use 3 minutes into of your day to think about all the things you really appreciate for in life, which feeling gives you the most gratefulness in life?
The feeling of raising my vibration and being able to oxygenate my blood more and also alkaline my blood. Definitely, because it feels good.
Yeah, awesome. Well, thank you. Well, I think that there is a saying that changes is good. So, do you do something that you have never done before?
Sorry, could you repeat that question?
Yes, yes. So they say changes is good. So you do something that you're scared of or something that may be out of your comfort zone?
I think as human beings, I think that when we naturally respond to change in a negative way, because this is what I think, and you know, I did get this information from psychology. They reckon that the first change that you experience is coming out of your mother's womb into the world. And for many babies, that is quite a traumatic experience. And I think what people do subconsciously is connect that experience, you know, with change, because it's a major change, isn't it, as well? So I think this is the reason why, as human beings, we do not respond to change very well. You know, we have good changes that happen, and we have more negative changes. But anxiety can build up. You know, if we know that there's a change coming, we can end up with quite a lot of anxiety, because subconsciously, this very first experience of change can be logged into the subconscious. But yeah, but I think change is very, very good. And what we can do is actually get used to change, you know, and reprogram our subconscious minds. So instead of being afraid of change or anxious about change, we can actually reprogram ourselves to actually look forward to change and adjust to it in a positive way.
Yeah, really, really good. So I have two questions here. One of them I have asked a previous guest, and it's, when you feeling 100 years, what do you think you're going to look back on your life and be most proud of?
I think I'm going to be most proud of all the love that I've given people that need it. The love, the help, and you know, this could also be the clients that I have in breathwork that have managed to make their health better. So yeah, all these things, I think that I'm going to be most proud of, definitely. And helping people
Really good.
reach their goals as well.
Yes, yes. And when you look at things, which kind of traditions do you most appreciate?
Traditions. So could you elaborate a little bit more on that one?
Yeah, for instance, I'm not quite sure what they call it right now, but we're in like really holy time when this recording's happening in a really holy month of May, at the end of May. So traditions kind of like either Christmas or whatnot. Yeah, traditions.
Yeah, so a lot of holidays, I don't actually celebrate them myself. I don't celebrate Christmas. I don't celebrate Easter, really. So that's really a personal thing as to why I don't celebrate them. But yeah, I celebrate my
Yeah.
birthday. Yeah, I think that's probably the only one that I do kind of celebrate. But even then, you know, my birthday really is just a normal day. So yeah, I suppose on a whole, I'm not really into the traditional side of things that much.
Yeah. Well, this question I don't think I've asked anyone before, but I'm interested to ask you. Is it something negative in your life that still is valuable and very much a value for you?
So you mean, is there something negative in my life that I'm sort of, which is spurring me to do things? Is that what you mean?
Kind of like, I think I would like to try and maybe put a goose sign scenario example of myself. I'm pretty aware that me, the Viking, drinks a lot of coffee. So it's not positive to drink a lot of coffee, but it's still very valuable for me.
Well, I think that, excuse me, I've always suffered with a disrupted sleep pattern, insomnia. So because of this is the reason why I started to do the breath work. So in a way, I'm quite happy that I used to suffer with insomnia, because if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't have found breath work. So if that's what you mean, the negative is the insomnia, but the positivity is so much bigger, which is great.
Yeah, that's really, really good and great. And I think before we try and getting to an end of it all, I think I want to ask you if you had the power and possibility to remove one thing from the whole universe, what would it be and why?
Okay. That's going to take some thinking, because there's quite a few things I would have removed from the universe. But definitely low energy, hate, low vibration, that kind of thing. And people acting because they're in that low vibration, acting in a negative way, either angry or vicious, or yeah. So yeah, low emotions. But on the other hand, you know, we need the lower vibrations in order to understand the whole thing. So I suppose in another way, if you removed all of the lower vibrations and the bad behavior in the universe, I'm not sure what effect that would have on humanity in a negative way, because we need both really to learn and to grow.
Yeah, it's kind of like I can't remember who said it, but it's you have to have light and the darkness, and it's everything in between, and it's much more than the eye can see, and all of this. But I do want to put an example of my own thinking of what I would like to remove from the whole universe, and that is the uh, the self ego, not the big one, but there is many identicals of the ego, but the self ego, I think, should be gone, because then you would actually have the possibility to see that we are all one.
Yeah, I think that's a good answer, actually. So, because there's two different sides of the ego. There's a good ego and there's a bad ego. So the bad ego is the self ego, I think what you mean. Is that right?
Yep.
Yeah, yeah. That would be a good thing to get rid of, you know. But even the self ego, we can even learn from that. So I think the beauty of it all is we can learn from our mistakes. But yeah, that would be a great thing to not have in the whole universe.
Yeah, and I think that when we are in the midst of the great awakening and in the midst of a lot of things that's happening these days, I have an interesting question. If you have one of, let's say, one tip on the physical, one tip on the psychical, and one tip on the social health, what you can do to better yourself, what's your tips?
There's many things that you can do to better your health. I mean, like what we've been talking about, you know, participating in breath work, 5 minutes a day, once a day. If you can do it in the morning and the evening, that's even better. Drink live, clean water, because our body, because we're made up mostly of water, it's really important. The water that we drink is so important. So drinking clean water, trying to eat a healthier diet, trying to eat like vegetables and fruit, and to stick to sort of organic, you know, vegetables. Try not to, you know, try not to consume anything that actually comes in a package from a supermarket. Because I believe that anything that's actually in a package is unhealthy. But each to their own, I guess. But yeah, try and do like a little bit of physical exercise. And I think the best physical exercise is walking. It's so simple, because everyone can walk. We can all do that. Well, most of us, I would say. So indulge in walking for physical exercise. And actually, if you have the ability to stretch, and you can do that, maybe, you know, indulge in a little bit of Pilates, which is similar to yoga, only you're doing more stretches. But yeah, that's what I would advise.
Yeah, thank you so much. I really like those advices, and I would like to try and connect it in English as well, because I've said it in Norwegian in my podcast earlier, that because you actually touched upon what many people, not all people, but many people in older age of like grandparents and parents, either in their 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, or even hundreds, which will have either problems actually getting up off the chair or the couch and move around. I've said it before and I'm going to say it again. If you actually visualize in your own head that you are on a trip, going on a walk, exercising in nature, your body does not know the difference between actually going into nature and having that trip, either if you decide to do it inside your head visually or actually do it in person.
Yeah, this is the thing. You can actually do it, you know, visually, because you know, that would be, you know, meditation, and then you'd be in the mind state theta. So, and like I said before earlier on, this is the mind wave that you need to reach to actually be in meditation. So if you use breath work, all you've got to do is 3 breaths, and you can actually get yourself into theta, into the mind wave theta. And then if you do the imaginary walking or exercise or whatever you want to do, it's more effective because you're in that mind wave. But yeah, that's a really good point. You can do that, you know. in your imagination. Very powerful.
Yeah, it is. It is really is because when people say they can't or they won't, I usually say, well, you just said it yourself. You decided that you couldn't or you wouldn't. It's all what you decide yourself in the top of your head and how you choose to word yourself and how you choose to think about the training or the trips or the exercises that you say that you can't do, but you actually can do it in your head if you're able to open your mind and have an open mind of the thoughts that you exercising in your head will actually have an impact on your physical body in person.
Absolutely. Absolutely. The mind is a very, very powerful thing. It's a very powerful thing. And so, you know, I don't know if you've heard of the self-hypnosis. You can actually hypnotize yourself, you know, and that's possible. So the mind, we can actually make our minds more healthier, thinking better, you know, and program our subconscious. Absolutely.
Well, I'm sorry this episode cut a little short, but hopefully we'll be able to catch up with Spiritual Mama in a new episode coming soon. Peace and love. Om folk kan hata, så kan jeg elske. Jeg elsker det. Instagrammen min sshow2020. Du elsker.